we are here about 20 miles north of Churchill. 40 miles north of Churchill, which is roughly less than an hour's flight.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, thank you guys, 30 minutes. It was such a beautiful flight that I don't remember I know that I wanted the flight to be longer because it was so beautiful, and I have some amazing photos to share on that front. So let me just ask you, first thing, inspiration behind doing this. Like what, you know, I mean, you're kind of in a remote location. You've got, you know, we're like surrounded by fences. Polar bears can't like literally go for a walk in the wilderness because you might, you know, you might meet up with a polar bear.
And we saw this shack sitting here one day and said, hey, let's see if we can buy that place. And
he saw this shack.
I saw the shack, yeah. I quickly bought it before Jeannie found out about it.
And renovated before I could see what it looked like.
Yeah.
So he bought it before you knew about it?
Well, actually, I did know about it. I just hadn't seen it to know how bad it really was.
It was one of those, honey, look what I bought.
Yeah.
That's really great, actually.
And
did you have some input at least at that point? Like, we're not doing this unless I have an, you know.
She did. It was, honey, find me some money. We got to pay this
guy.
Yeah.
He has the big dreams, and I take care of the details to make it actually happen.
Mm-hmm. And so how long ago did you start? I mean, we
bought this in '93 and did a little bit of work that year, but mostly the next spring, and we got things going in '94.
We had a client in '94. One client.
And the client was not a cousin?
No.
No. No relation.
It's actually European.
Yeah, it was from Switzerland, right?
Yeah, I don't really know how did he end up here.
I don't know.
But, the Swiss, if you're Swiss, and why would you not want to be in a place like this? It's gorgeous.
So we had one guest bedroom, one staff bedroom, and in '94, and the rest is history. So every year you just build and add. It's kind of like farming.
How did you get the word out, though, like originally? One Swiss client and then...
Well, it was a lot tougher than it is now. I mean, Travel Manitoba helped us out a fair bit to get started. They helped us with some marketing and did some marketing.
So today, everyone, we went to a place called Fireweed Island.
Fireweed Island at
and the Point.
Hubbard Point.
Hubbard Point, thank you very much for that, where we had lunch. Okay, so let's kind of get a sense of where you've come from and where you've evolved to. People would come up here because...
People would come up here because... Well, it's the only place in the world that we know of where you can get on the ground with polar bears. It's one of probably only 2 places in the world where you can swim with belugas and get beautiful white sea canaries speaking to you, singing to you right in your face. We consider it to be one of the wildest places on earth. I mean, you don't see anybody anywhere. You don't see any lights, you don't see any roads, you don't hear any traffic. The odd airplane goes by and that's it. And I think that's what it is. Proximity to wildlife, proximity to wilderness. We've managed to bring the facilities up to the point where they're comfortable.
Do you see yourself as the Galapagos of Canada?
Yeah, we could live with that. Yeah, we could go with that.
I like that, actually.
I like that.
I like that. That's how it feels so far to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I've only been here for a few days, but there's something about the tundra. And of course, I did have the experience of a polar bear coming straight up to the fence with his teeth through the fence today. That was pretty awesome.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Do that just anywhere, right?
So how often, so today, which people will see, I didn't videotape it, but I shot it. We saw a mating session with 2 polar bears at the end of the day on a late August afternoon. How often does that happen so close to the lodge?
That does not happen very often at all. And that's pretty restricted stuff. Like, we don't like to share that with just any client. You've got to be mature enough to be able to take part in that sort of ritual. No, that was pretty awesome. We haven't seen that before. No, not like that.
Okay.
We've seen the female-male interaction to a certain extent, but that was getting to be pretty heavy stuff.
That was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
It was mating that was not unlike human interaction on so many levels, you know.
Yeah.
The dance, I wish we had taken some video of that, but...
It's pretty good. The old boy was Trying hard.
And she was playing hard to get.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
Doing her job.
Yeah.
Okay, so question on what is when you think about all the experiences that you had in I guess it's almost been, what, 8 years about, the most memorable aha moment, like obviously we had one today. That was pretty magical and everybody just stopped dead in their tracks. What else, you know, if you, I mean, and it could be, you know, one example could be how you got the mattresses across when you were building the place, you know, because that's not real easy up here. And, you know, so I'd love an example like that where, like, you know, this is not as easy to build as if we're just outside Chicago. And another example would be the wildlife, you know, sort of aha moment. So the building aha moment and the wildlife aha moment for you. For both of you, because it might be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it for you? When I carried you across the threshold?
I guess so, yeah. You can't put me on the spot like that, you know.
That's
No,
okay.
She has a tough time getting put up the spot. But
While she's thinking, go for it.
Yeah, you mentioned the cat training, the hauling in the wintertime. That, for me, is a highlight. I almost look forward to building something so I have an excuse to haul stuff. Yeah, the whole winter deal is pretty exciting when you manage to scrabble together enough cash to buy a bunch of material, get it shipped to Churchill, get it on a bulldozer, then put a crew of guys together and spend 2 weeks dragging it over the sea ice, battling storms and overflow and floodwaters and bad ice and broken equipment. And that's...
So some of it comes through snowmobile and some of it's plane and some of it's train, correct?
Yep, it all gets shipped by train to Winnipeg, and then from Churchill we have to bring it either by snowmobile or we use the old bulldozer that you saw on the runway. And then some of it comes in summer, but all the big stuff, the beams for the buildings and the big heavy materials, all have to come by bulldozer over the sea ice. Yeah, that's not your average truck ride from the local.
But that was exciting for you,
yeah,
it sounds like.
I love it. Absolutely, that's a highlight of my year. Yeah.
Maybe not as much a highlight for her year.
No.
I try to avoid that part of things. I like to be here when we're pulling everything together for the beginning of the season, and I love landing here for the first time and smelling the fresh sea air and just
yeah, that's right. Opening day, I think, is one of the most exciting times. You've been away all winter and you're coming back. You want to see what have the bears done, what wall's been smashed in, and what have they bitten through, and yeah, the smell of the sea the first time again coming back. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
No,
and
that's
for
a good
me,
point.
talking to the guests who've had a life-changing experience here, like they really, you know, you've accomplished what you set out to do when you talk to some of those people.
Yeah, we've had people climb out of the water and pull their mask off, and there's tears in their eyes, and they're oohing and on and gone because whales have basically adopted them into the pod.
I think I swore at my aha moment. I think I looked up at one point and said, I'm not seeing them, I'm hearing them, but I'm not really seeing them. And I went back down and suddenly there was a beluga whale on my chest, right? Yeah. So yeah, it changed pretty quickly within 60 seconds.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. It's just a waiting game.
But there's been seasons, many seasons of kind of magical moments, you know, wildlife highlights that, I don't know, it tends to all blend into a blur, but Jeannie's right. The biggest thing is at the end of the trip when you send people home and they're just like, this was the best trip ever, and we can hardly wait to come back, and we want to do something else next time, and this is the greatest place on earth, and best trip we've ever done. I mean, that's reward itself right there. That makes the long hours worth it. I
mean, you guys grew up here, and so I think, you know, we have a number of people here have traveled. I feel lowly traveled, you know, poorly traveled compared to some of our colleagues. I hit my big 8-0 this year, and there's someone here who's hit the 126th country. But the one thing I can say even from 80 is that there's something about the sky that's different here. And we've all remarked on it, you know, that's something that just feels very... I don't know. We'll give you a little bit of a glimpse in a minute, but it's very sort of energetic, but you don't feel like it's energetic, and it's strong and it's dynamic, and there's tons of texture, and you know, I mean, is this typical of an Arctic sky, or?
It is typical because it's such a huge sky for one thing. I mean, you can see horizon to horizon in all directions, and because we're on the coast, the weather's changing all the time. Every hour there's a different scene in the sky. A different cloud cover, or a different light, or the light is changing, or it's just, yeah, it's never boring. The landscape, the tide comes in and out. Every hour there's something different going on. Very unpredictable. That's
so you never get tired of it.
You could I think you could sell this trip just on skyscapes alone. Sky and seascapes, yeah.
But what is it for you? I mean, what is the thing that gets you up every day? I mean, obviously it's the client leaving happy. That makes sense. Okay, and bringing in and out
bears.
the bears.
It's still bears for me. I still get excited with every polar bear. Yeah, and I'm still interested in every one of them. How are they going to react to us? What are they going to do? You know, it's just, yep.
I thought it was interesting. We were pretty far out to sea today, and I can't remember who among us, you know, was through binoculars or whatever, and they said, "Oh my God, Mike's looking at the polar bear from the lodge. We can see him." And that was a very funny moment for all of us, where, you know, you really are the geek, you know. It's just like, he can't miss a moment, you know. I mean, we're way out here and he's like with his binoculars seeing this. Very funny.
Yeah.
But there was nothing, I mean, you know, I mean, that's, but in terms of the magic that we had tonight, I mean, I just want to thank you both for an incredible journey here. It was really amazing, and you know, I think this is an unbelievable experience for anybody who's looking for something unique and different in their lives, and they've been to a lot of places, and you know, there's something very special. I mean, obviously we can't hear this with the camera probably, but there's kind of an echo of the ocean in the background.
Yeah, you hear the surf coming in, and yeah, oh, that's right.
And we were supposed to do this video about 2 hours ago, but with slightly better light, everyone, but we had a mating session.
As often happens, the polar bears interrupt the program, and you go with that.
Yeah,
so everything changes on a moment's notice at Churchill North. So thank you both for everything, and we're going to tune back in hopefully in a year from now, or you know, a year and a half from now, and see how you guys have progressed, because you have a new lodge that just opened up today, right?
New lodge going up in the Nook, yep. We'll keep you posted on that. You might have to come back and
Check that
do another round through there.
Pretty excited to hear that. So yeah, absolutely. So thanks so much, and
You're welcome.
okay, who's that?
There's Mocha.
There's Mocha. He's been a big part of our experience here. Hey, Mocha. And here's that crazy sky that we've been talking about. Unbelievable. I don't know if you can see it, and you may not be able to feel it, but it's a very different sky, and I've seen a lot of skies in my life.